Hey everybody, and welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at something pretty wild.
Yeah, this one is really out there.
That's right, we're talking about extraterrestrials, but not just, like the modern UFO stuff.
Right, we're going way back.
Exactly, we're going all the way back to ancient times, like way, way back.
Ancient aliens.
Ancient aliens. But before we get too deep into that, let me tell you about the source material for today's deep dive.
Yeah, where are we getting all this crazy stuff from?
Well, it's actually a blog and YouTube channel called the W Files. It's run by this guy, weiwat.
Wait, what?
And he's super into like weird mysteries.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. So anyway, one of the things he talks about a lot is this book called Earth Galactic History and its extraterrestrial connection.
That's a mouthful.
It is. It's by this author, Constance Victoria Briggs. And basically she argues that aliens have been involved with Earth since like the very beginning.
Like even before humans.
Maybe even before. She talks about the possibility of aliens like terraforming the planet, to make it suitable for life.
Well, hold on. So you're saying like aliens might have like created Earth?
Well, she doesn't go that far.
Yeah.
But she definitely suggests that they played a big role in shaping it.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. And it kind of makes you think about all those ancient myths and stories about, gods and stuff coming down from the sky.
Oh, yeah, like the Greek gods and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. What if those stories weren't just made up? What if they were based on actual encounters with aliens?
Whoa.
I know, right? It's a pretty wild idea.
But like, how can we even know? There's no proof of any of that.
Well, that's what's so cool about Briggs' book.
Yeah.
She actually tries to connect the dots between those ancient stories and like modern UFO sightings.
Oh, so she's saying there's a connection.
Yeah, like maybe the same aliens who were visiting us back then are still around today, just, keeping a lower profile.
I don't know. I'm still pretty skeptical.
I get it. It's definitely a lot to take in, and Briggs actually talks about why people are so skeptical about aliens.
Oh, really? Why does she say that is?
Well, first of all, she says, it's because most of us haven't actually had a personal experience with aliens.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like trying to describe the color blue to someone who's been blind their whole life.
Exactly. They just wouldn't get it.
Right.
And the second reason she gives is that it's just like really uncomfortable to think about aliens being real.
Uncomfortable how?
What kind of like challenges everything we think we know about humanity and our place in the universe.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's like in The Matrix, when Neo takes the red pill and suddenly realizes that everything he thought was real is actually just a simulation.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
It's easier to just stick with what we know, even if it might not be the whole truth.
So basically, Briggs is saying we need to be more open-minded.
Exactly. We need to be willing to consider possibilities that might seem crazy at first.
Okay, I'm willing to try. But where do we even begin? Like, how far back are we talking here? Didn't UFOs only become a thing in the 1940s?
That's what a lot of people think. But Briggs actually argues that there's evidence of alien encounters going all the way back to prehistoric times.
Prehistoric. Like caveman times.
Yeah. Like think about cave paintings. Some of them show these weird humanoid figures with like alien-looking features.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those, but I always thought they were just like abstract art,
That's what I thought too. But Briggs says, what if they were actually trying to depict what they were seeing? And some of these paintings even show these figures like interacting with animals, like they were part of the ecosystem.
That's pretty wild.
I know, right? It's definitely something to think about.
Okay, so what about later on, like when humans started forming civilizations?
Well, Briggs says there's evidence there too. She points to all these myths and stories from ancient cultures all over the world.
Oh, like the stories about Zeus and stuff.
Yeah, like the Greek gods, but also Egyptian gods, Roman gods. Pretty much every ancient culture has stories about these like powerful beings coming down from the sky. And it's not just written stories either. There are also a lot of oral traditions, stories passed down through generations.
Oh, yeah, like folklore and stuff.
Exactly. And some of these stories are really specific. Like there's this tribe in Africa called the Dogon.
The Dogon?
Yeah. And they have this incredibly detailed knowledge about the Sirius star system, like way more than they should have been able to know without telescopes.
How is that possible?
Well, they'd say they got this knowledge from these beings called the Nomos who came to Earth from the sky.
The Nomos?
Yeah. And they describe them as like amphibious beings, which is kind of weird.
Amphibious, like they can live in water and on land.
Exactly. It's pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I know, but it makes you wonder if there's more to these ancient stories than we realize.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think.
That's what I love about this topic. It really challenges our assumptions about history and the universe.
I'm starting to see why you're so into this.
I told you it was wild.
Okay, so I've got cave paintings and ancient myths, but is there any other evidence? Like anything more concrete?
Well, that's what we're going to get into next.
Oh, this is getting good.
Stay tuned.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so we've got these cave paintings and these ancient myths.
Right, but then it's like they just disappear.
Yeah, what happened to those aliens? Did they just like get bored with us?
Maybe they went on to like a more advanced civilization, you know?
Maybe they're still here just hiding.
Oh, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, it is kind of, but Briggs actually has a theory about why they might have gone into hiding.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
So she says that in the beginning, you know, back in ancient times, the aliens were much more open about their presence. Like they were actively interacting with humans.
So they weren't hiding at all back then?
Not really. She says it was more like a teacher guiding a student, you know?
Like they were trying to help us evolve.
Exactly. But as humans became more advanced, the aliens might have decided to step back and let us figure things out on our own.
Okay, that makes sense. But why go into hiding? Why not just say, hey, we're out here, good luck?
Well, Briggs says there could be a couple of reasons for that.
Like what?
One possibility is that humans started to resist their influence, you know?
Oh, like we were getting too big for our britches.
Maybe something like that.
Teenagers rebelling against their parents.
Exactly. And the aliens might have realized that interfering too much could actually hinder our development.
So it's like tough love.
Yeah, kind of like letting your kid fall off their bike a few times so they learn how to ride it properly.
Makes sense.
And the other possibility Briggs mentions is the idea of a galactic federation.
A galactic federation. Like in Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. It's this idea that there's like a group of advanced alien civilizations out there and they have rules about interacting with less developed planets.
Like a Cosmic Prime directive.
Exactly. So maybe the aliens who were visiting Earth were part of this federation and they had to follow those rules.
Oh, that's heavy.
I know, right? It's pretty mind-blowing.
So if they are still here, where are they hiding?
Well, Briggs has a pretty wild theory about that too.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat.
She thinks they might be hiding in the ocean.
The ocean? Like under the water?
Yeah, like they might have bases or even entire cities down there.
Whoa, were we talking like a real-life Atlanta situation?
It's definitely possible. Think about it. The ocean is huge, and we've only explored like 5% of it.
It's true. It's like a giant mystery down there.
Exactly. So it wouldn't be that hard for aliens to hide down there, especially if they have advanced technology.
Okay, but is there any evidence of this? Like, has anyone actually seen anything?
Well, there have been a lot of reports of strange things happening in the ocean, like unexplained lights and objects moving underwater.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about those, but I always thought they were just like submarines or something.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think, but some of these reports are really hard to explain away.
Like what?
Well, Briggs mentions this one case where scientists found these weird laser-like holes in some beached whales.
Laser-like holes. What does that even mean?
Like they were perfectly round and cauterized, like they were made with some kind of advanced technology.
That's creepy.
Yeah, and the scientists who were investigating this, they claim to have seen these humanoid figures moving around underwater.
Humanoid figures. Like aliens.
That's what they thought.
Okay, hold on. I need to catch my breath. This is a lot to take in.
I know, it's wild, right?
So why would aliens want to hide in the ocean?
Well, there could be a few reasons.
Like what?
First of all, it's a great place to hide. Like we just said, we've barely explored the ocean, so it would be easy for them to stay undetected.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Plus, the ocean is full of resources, you know?
Yeah, like water and minerals and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they could be using those resources to sustain themselves.
I never thought about it like that.
And another possibility is that they're just really interested in studying Earth's oceans.
Like they're marine biologists from another planet.
Maybe something like that.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it is kind of fascinating.
So we've got aliens potentially hiding in the ocean, but what about the Dogon tribe? Remember them?
Yeah, the ones who knew all about Sirius B.
Right. Do you think there could be a connection there?
Well, it's definitely possible. Remember, the Dogon said they got their knowledge from these amphibious beings called the Nomos.
Oh, yeah. And we were just talking about aliens potentially living underwater.
Exactly. So maybe the Nomos are part of this underwater civilization that Briggs is talking about.
Whoa, my mind is blown.
It's a pretty wild idea, but it does kind of fit together.
Okay, but let's back up for a second. How are these aliens even getting here? We're talking about interstellar travel, right? That's like impossible with our current technology.
Well, Briggs says that aliens might have access to something called a cosmic freeway.
A cosmic freeway. What is that?
Basically, it's a network of wormholes that connect different parts of the universe.
Wormholes. Like those things from science fiction.
Yeah, they're like shortcuts through space-time.
So you're saying aliens might be using wormholes to travel to Earth?
It's definitely possible. Briggs says that even NASA is exploring the possibility of wormhole travel.
Whoa, that's insane.
I know, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, but if they have this advanced technology, why are they even interested in us? Like, what do they want with Earth?
Well, that's a good question, and honestly, we don't really know. But Briggs has some theories.
Like what?
She says that they might be interested in our planet's resources, or maybe they're just curious about us, you know? Like they're studying human civilization.
Like we're some kind of science experiment?
Maybe.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, but what about other planets? Like, are there aliens hanging out on Mars or Venus or something?
Well, Briggs actually thinks that there might be evidence of alien activity throughout our solar system.
No way, really?
Yeah, she talks about all these weird anomalies that have been observed on different planets and moons.
Like what?
Well, for example, there have been reports of these massive unidentified objects near the sun.
Like alien spaceships.
Maybe. Some people think they could be extracting energy from the sun, you know, like solar power on a massive scale.
Whoa, that's intense.
And then there's Mars.
Mars, what about it?
Well, there's this weird structure on one of its moons, Phobos, that some people think could be artificial.
Artificial. Like it was built by aliens.
That's the theory.
What does it look like?
It's kind of like a rectangular monolith sticking out of the surface.
A monolith. Like in 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty strange.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This is all so crazy.
I know, right? And we haven't even talked about the moon yet.
The moon? What's weird about the moon?
Well, there are all these theories about it potentially being an artificial construct or having alien bases on it.
Alien bases on the moon.
Yeah. There have been all these strange sounds and vibrations recorded during lunar missions.
Sounds and vibrations. Like what kind of sounds?
Like humming and buzzing and stuff that scientists can't really explain.
That's so creepy.
Yeah, it is kind of.
Okay, I need a break. My head is spinning.
I don't blame you. This is a lot to process.
We'll be right back after this break to finish up our deep dive into the mysteries of extraterrestrial involvement with Earth and our solar system.
Wait, what?
All right, we're back and ready to finish up this deep dive.
Yeah, my brain is still buzzing from all that stuff about aliens and wormholes and underwater cities.
I know, right? It's a lot to process. But before we get too carried away, I want to ask, like, how are we supposed to make sense of all this information?
Well, Briggs is really big on critical thinking.
Critical thinking.
Yeah, like don't just believe everything you hear, you know?
So we shouldn't just assume that all these stories about aliens are true.
Exactly. We need to be skeptical and question everything.
But how do we know what to believe?
Well, Briggs says we should look for evidence, you know?
Evidence like what?
Like physical evidence, scientific studies, eyewitness accounts, that kind of thing.
Okay, so we need to be like detectives, basically.
Exactly. We need to gather all the information we can and then try to figure out what it all means.
That's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in all the excitement, but we need to remember to be objective.
Right. And we also need to be open to new information.
What do you mean?
Like our understanding of the universe is constantly evolving, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So what might seem impossible today could be proven true tomorrow.
That's a good reminder. It's important to stay humble and keep learning.
Exactly. And that's why collaboration is so important.
Collaboration.
Yeah, like if we all work together and share our knowledge, we can learn a lot more than if we just try to figure things out on our own.
So it's like a giant group project.
Kind of. Except the project is figuring out the mysteries of the universe.
That's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
But what about the skeptics? Like the people who just don't believe in aliens at all?
Well, Briggs says that skepticism is important too.
Really? Why?
Because it keeps us honest,
Yeah.
you know?
I guess that makes sense.
Like if we're too quick to believe everything we hear, then we might end up believing things that aren't true.
Right. We need to be careful and make sure we're not just fooling ourselves.
Exactly, but at the same time, we shouldn't be afraid to consider new possibilities.
So it's like a balance between skepticism and open-mindedness.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So what's the takeaway from all this?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that we should never stop asking questions.
Asking questions about what?
About everything.
Yeah.
About the universe, about history, about ourselves.
Because the more questions we ask, the more we learn.
Exactly. And the more we learn, the closer we get to understanding the truth.
That's a great message. I think I'm going to write that down.
Me too.
Well, this has been an amazing deep dive.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
We've learned so much about aliens and ancient mysteries and the possibilities of extraterrestrial life.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
That's right. There's still so much more to explore.
So if you're interested in learning more, I highly recommend checking out Constance Victoria Briggs' book, Earth's Galactic History and its Extraterrestrial Connection.
And don't forget to check out the W Files by weiwat for even more mind-blowing content.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the unknown.
And remember, keep looking up and keep asking, wait, what?
Wait, what?